Alright, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakakradash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, in today's lesson, we're going to go into, explaining who the 144,000 are. Okay, who the 144,000 are. Alright, because in my previous lessons, we were going into that Yahweh Shai had brothers. Alright, but this is going into, explaining where the 144,000 are, by using the scriptures. Okay? 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 34 on down. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen that hear and understood, look for your shepherd. He shall give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand, that shall come in the end of the world. Okay? Alright, so the end of the world. Alright, so our shepherd is Yahweh Shai. Okay, our shepherd is Yahweh Shai. You gotta understand that. Alright, and he's coming at the end of whose world? Esau, okay, the self-proclaimed white man. Alright, verse 35. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore. Okay, so verse 35, be ready to the reward of the kingdom. Okay, so be ready to the of the reward. Be ready to the reward of the kingdom, right? And this is what you gotta set your heart, your mind to. Okay, if you have your mind set towards the kingdom, okay, put that first, the Lord first in the kingdom. Everything else will be added unto you. You understand? Alright, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore. Okay? Forevermore. So this is something that is it's very, very important. Okay, be ready to the reward of the kingdom. Okay? For the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore. Alright? So be ready to the reward of the kingdom, because those of you that put in this work, all right, you gotta understand that there's a reward at the end of it. All right, and it's immortality, okay, everlasting rulership. All right, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you forevermore. All right, because we're gonna get everlasting bodies, okay, immortal bodies. So you can understand, okay. Verse 36. Flee the shadow of this world. Receive the joyfulness of your glory. I testify my Savior openly. Okay, so this is something you gotta understand right here. Okay, it's something you gotta understand. So, verse 36, okay? Flee the shadow of this world. Okay, so you have to flee the shadow of this world. Okay, not be like the so-called white man. Okay, you gotta flee, these Christian doctrines. Okay, not try to be like these celebrities. Alright, flee the shadow of this world. Receive the joyfulness of your glory. Okay, I testify my Savior openly. Right, okay, so fuck what you're talking about. All right, this right here is I testify my Savior openly. Okay, because you can't be ashamed of the Lord. All right, so this is what happened with Nick Cannon. Okay, Nick Cannon, he what happened with him is what happened with him is he proclaimed that he had that show Wild and Out. Remember, he was married to Mariah Carey. All right, so he's an Israelite that had a show called Wild and Out. All right, but he was ashamed of the Lord. Okay, he's ashamed that he's an Israelite. See that? Because as soon as he started to proclaim that, what happened? Okay, what happened? He, you know, the small hats, okay, you know, put him in check. You know, they said, hey, you know, you better not or else. See, and what happened? Okay, what happened? He bowed down, you know, because he didn't have the faith to go all the way, you know, to continue as an Israelite. Why? Because he didn't have that faith, that foundation. Okay, so this is why that faith has to be built up in you. Okay, because you have to understand in this time that we're entering, the true Israelites are going to be persecuted. So what? Okay, so what? All right, you gotta understand the true believers, okay, the elect are going to be persecuted. Something that you gotta understand. Okay, it's something that you gotta understand. All right. Verse 37. Oh, receive the gift that is given you. Oh, be glad, giving thanks unto him that hath led you to the heavenly kingdom. So we always gotta give thanks to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Okay, don't be wary. Okay, don't be, you know, oh man, you know, don't be wary. Okay, don't be dismayed. All right, you know, our power is with thee. All right, for those of you that are the hopeful elect, okay, you may have to go through some things. Okay, but you know, one thing that you got to understand is that our power, our power is with us. Okay, you got to understand that. All right, you know, you have to understand that our power is with the hopeful elect. Okay, Lord willing, I'm part of that number. You see? All right, it's a very, you know, it's a very, you know, big deal. You know, because you have to understand that the Lord is there no matter what. All right, you got to understand that. Okay, that the Lord is there no matter what. You know, so this is why the true teachers of Great Millstone, we tell you these things because you know, these churches and other congregations, they're not teaching the children of Israel the impending dangers. You know, it's about to get real serious out here. Okay, you know, you gotta understand that there's real teams. Okay, there's real teams out here. Okay, that are, you know, trying to, you know, that are trying to, you know, take, you know, the prophets down. Okay, that are gonna come after the believers. All right, it's a very serious thing. You know, so you gotta have your faith built up in you now. That way, when that time comes, you know, you're solid. Okay, you're like, well, whatever. You know, just like Apostle Paul. You know, because you're gonna be confident that, you know, you did all that you can do, and now there's a crown laid up for you. All right, you know, who gives a damn what our enemies say? Okay, you know, they're coming in. Let them come in. Let them come in head first. You know, let them call their top bosses. Remember, we serve the Heavenly Father, the Creator of life itself, who created, you know. Let me see. All right. So, this is why it's a very important thing that we teach this, okay? Because it's not just, oh, you know, there's agents out there and, you know, blase. No, this is a real thing. Okay, this is a real thing that is, you know, brought to you. Okay, you know, you got to understand that. Okay, that it's really, this is some, it's real stuff. you know, that you have to understand. You see, it's real things that you gotta understand. You know, the draft, the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Okay, you have what else do you have? Okay, you have what is it? You know, persecution. All right, you know, people who are going to be, you know, turning each other into authorities. You know, it's a very real thing. You know, it's a very real thing. So let's go to verse 38. Okay, Second Esdras, chapter 2, verse 38. Arise up and stand before the number of those. All right, so this is verse 38. Okay, Second Esdras, chapter 2, verse 38. All right, on down. All right, arise up and stand before the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord. Okay, so this is a feast. Okay, it's a celebration. So remember, like Apostle Gabar said, we don't know who the elect is all the way until we get into those chariots of Israel. So this is why we're prisoners of hope. Okay, because we're hoping, all right, that we can be part of that hopeful elect. You understand? All right. So arise up, stand before the number of those that be sealed. Okay, that's the elect. Okay, starting with the 144,000. All right, the 144,000. This is the governing body. Okay, the governing body. All right, the future rulers of this planet Earth and of the gap, you know, of the universe. All right, because the 144,000 are gods. Okay, they are going to, you know, go out to other planets. You know, have their own, you know, spaceship, their own chariot. Yeah, it's a very major ordeal. All right. Verse 39, which are departed, listen up, okay? Which are departed from the shadow of this world, of this word. Okay. All right. So right here, this is Second Esdras chapter 2, verse 39. Okay. All right. Which are departed from the shadow of the world. Okay, because you have to flee from the you gotta flee from the darkness of this world. Okay, you gotta flee from the darkness of this world. All right, and have received glorious garments of the Lord. Okay, all right, you know, so that is something that we have to do. All right, as the hopeful elect, you have to flee the shadow of this world, flee the ways of this world, detach from this world, and cleave unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You see? All right? And have received glorious garments of the Lord. Okay, that's the elect, because they're all going to be changed. Okay, starting with 144,000, and the elect are the 1/3, okay, which consists of men, women, and children. All right? All right, so verse 40, take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. Okay, so this is something that, you know, is, very, very important. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. The number of thy children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Okay? Beseech the power of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, okay, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. So people have been called from the beginning, meaning what? Okay, the elect. All right, the elect have been predestinated for salvation before the planet Earth was even created. Okay, before the planet Earth was even created, so you can understand. Okay, all right, just so you can understand. All right, you know. So this is it's a very very heavy thing. Okay, it's a very serious ordeal. All right, so you can understand. All right, so right here is okay, verse 42. This is something that, you know, Yahweh chose the elect for Yahushai. Okay, before the foundations of the earth was even created. All right, so you know, think about that one. Okay, think about that one. How major that is. So this is why Romans 3:3 says, "So what if some did not believe?" Okay, it's not going to change anything. Because let's say if someone says, "Oh, you know, they're gonna stop you from believing" or something like that. You can't. Okay, if you're part of the hopeful elect, it don't matter what anybody says. Okay, it don't matter if they lock you up for life. That don't matter. That don't mean shit. Okay, when the Lord gets here, okay, you're going up into a chariot. Okay, if some of you that are martyrs, because there are going to be a few, okay, the Lord's going to raise you up first. All right, into the chariots. All right, this is how major, you know, this is how major this is. Okay, it's very major. Okay, very major. All right. All right, so this is verse 42. Okay, verse 42. Let me get this one fast. Okay, verse 42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I cannot number, and they all praise the Lord with songs. So right here, this is Ezra. Okay, he had a vision from the Lord. He's seen Yahushai actually crowning the 144,000. All right, you know, it's a very, this is what he's seen here. Okay, and that's what's gonna happen. Remember, hold on to thy crown. Let nobody take thy crown. All right. All right, verse 43, and in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, okay, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns and was more exalted. Okay, so let's get it from the top. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature. So a young man. Okay, so there was a young man, okay, of a high stature, taller than all the rest, okay, taller than all the rest. See, because, you know, Yahushai was 33 years old, okay, when he was crucified. So Yahushai is a young man, okay, and he's very tall. Remember, he's a Judite, all right, you know, like the elder Barak said, from Los Angeles Great Millstone. All right, you know, you got to understand that, you know, remember he was saying that LeBron James and I forgot who else, you know, but these basketball players, they're very tall, you know. That's Judah. Okay, the Lord is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Okay, so taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, "Sir, what are these?" Okay, so this is something that, you know, that is very very important. Okay, because you said, "Sir, what are these?" All right. So what Ezra saw, okay. Okay, so what he saw was not ordinary people. Okay, the 144,000, they are not ordinary people. Okay, you know, they that's why he said, "What are these?" But he didn't say who are these people. He said, pay attention. Okay, he said, what are these? Okay. All right, so remember that, okay? So I asked the angel and said, sir, what are these? Because you know, he what are these? Because he didn't know what he was looking at. He was just like, man, what is this that I'm looking at? You know, he didn't really know. Like, man, what is this? See, he didn't really know. Like, okay, like, well, what is this? You know, what are these? Because he didn't say, oh, who are these people? What are these? Because remember, it's a new thing on the planet. Okay, it's a new thing. The 140 and 4,000. Remember that. Okay. All right. Verse 45. He answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the mortal, and have confessed, okay, the name of Yahweh. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Okay, so let's go from the top. Verse 45. And he answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing. Okay. All right. Because right now, you mere mortals have what? You got mortal bodies, okay? And put on the immortal, because that means we're not gonna die, okay? The hopeful elect are gonna receive, starting with the 144,000, are gonna receive their new bodies, okay? And all the rest of the hopeful elect that gets picked up from the four corners of the earth, they're gonna starting with the 144,000, the men, women, and children. Okay, that is the elect. Okay, all right. So when Yahushua gets here, okay, whether you're because remember there are going to be some martyrs. Remember that and understand that. Okay, so once that happens, okay, you're going to get beamed up into a chariot. But at that same time, at that moment, okay, you're going to be changed like that. Okay, you're going to be changed like that, and have confessed the name of Yahweh. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Verse 46. Then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowned them, and giveth them palms in their hands? Okay, so young person, once again, because the Lord is not coming back all old and just, no, not at all. Okay, verse 47. Okay, so he answered and said unto me, listen up. So who's this young person? Okay, that Ezra is seeing crowning the 144,000 right here. So he answered and said unto me, it is the son of Yahweh. See that? So that right there clarifies that there's two entities. Okay, that there's two entities. All right. So he answered and said unto me, it is the son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. See that? Whom they have confessed in the world. They began I greatly, okay, to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So this is why Nate from IUIC, okay, he got taken out. Okay, he basically what happened is that he sold out. Okay, he's still around, but he don't teach the names of Yahweh and Yahushai. He knows the names. All right, and he made a video of breaking them down correct. All right, so that's just a clear example of what happens when these agents infiltrate. They take away the name right away. That's the first thing that goes. So that's why a lot of times we point out Nate. It's not just to put him down, okay? It's because he is a clear example of what not to do, okay? And what's happening on this earth, okay? All right, see that? So that stood so stiffly, yeah, because people get threatened, okay? People get faced with jail time. They say, oh, well, I'm gonna take away your children, take away your, they get fired from jobs, all that, okay? Some people get death, the prophets get death threats, all right? you know. There's been situations where the prophets had got, like jumped, but there's a lot that happens. There's a lot that happens, that this world don't really know about. Okay, so the true prophets have to go through, endure a lot. Okay, but they keep on enduring. You understand? They keep on enduring. You see? All right. So for those that are not built up in the faith, yeah, they sell out. They just say, oh, fuck this. This is too much. Because the true prophets were truly going up against the New World Order. Okay, and saying fuck them. Them and all their agents. Just like that. Okay, remember, Esau, when you make your move, the angels are gonna make their move. So you're doing all this scrambling around just to get your ass kicked. Straight up. All right, remember, when you make your move, the angels are gonna make their move. So remember that, okay? Because the Lord is going to help His hopeful elect. It's very real, okay? Very real, very real. Okay, verse 48. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy power thou hast seen. Okay, so now let's go to Revelation. You know what? Let me go to Ephesians first, and then I'll go to Revelation. Let me just get it. Bear with me. Okay. Ephesians 1 and 4. Okay. According as He had chosen us in Him before the foundation of the world. See, the elect. See that? Because Yahweh hath chosen the elect for Yahushai before the world was even created. Look at that. Okay, so this is very deep, So it don't even matter what man says. That we should be holy, separate, and without blame before Him in love. Okay, this is why you have to be separate from this world. Okay, of course you gotta work, you gotta take care of your bills, take care of your family, but you gotta understand. Okay? Cool. Okay, so Ephesians chapter 1 verse 1 and verse Alright, so right here is verse 6, okay? To the praise of the glory of His grace, okay? Wherein He had made us accepted in the beloved. Okay? Okay, to praise. Oh wait, let's go to Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 5. Having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahushai Hamashiach to Himself, according to the good pleasure of His will. See that? Because it's the good pleasure of the Lord's will. Okay, so the elect, okay, starting with the 144,000 are the chosen vessels for salvation. Okay, the chosen people. Okay, the chosen, the elect. Okay, because not all Israel is gonna make it. Only the elect. So you can understand. You see? Okay. So right here is Verse 5 again. Having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahweh Shai Hamashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. Okay, so all this was happening on the earth. Why Adam went off, why the Israelites, we had to be a fallen away first. It's all the pleasure of the Lord's will. Okay, it's his creation, so you can understand. You see? All right, so this is something you gotta understand. All right. So remember, it's not up to man. It's all of the good pleasure of his will. So the whole reason why the Lord created the planets, the angels, humans, is because the Lord, he just felt like it. That was the pleasure, just because he wanted to do it. It is not something that had to be done. He just did that. So this is why you have to understand, the Lord don't need none of us. See that? But this also brings us a strong, this is what you have to believe, get understanding, right? Okay, you got to get an understanding that that this is the Lord's in control. Okay, that is the will of the Lord. All right, verse 7. All right. Ephesians chapter 1 verse 7. And whom we have redemption through his blood. Okay. The forgiveness of sins. See, so the elect, your sins are covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. So you can understand. All right. It's very important. Okay. It's very, very important because remember, Yahweh Shai purchased you, okay, the hopeful elect, and Lord willing, I'm part of that number, when he went on that cross. Okay, when he went on the cross. It's a very serious thing. What he did was a very major sacrifice according to the riches of his grace. All right, so now let's go to Revelation. Hey, bear with me. There's a lot to cover here, so here we go. Revelation chapter 7. Okay. Okay, Revelation chapter 7, verse 1 on down. Okay. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds, okay, of the earth. So the angels are holding that destruction, making sure it don't blow. Okay, they're holding on to that. Okay, they're holding on to that because prophecy has to fulfill. And then remember, the Lord's going to rain judgment without mercy out here. Okay, the Lord's going to execute judgment without mercy. When that famine of the word comes, all right, when those mercy doors are shut, okay, that's it. All right. That the winds should not blow on the earth, the destruction, okay, the judgment, okay, because they're coming. Okay, everything's already set. All right, remember, Yahweh is judge himself. All right. That the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, okay, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, okay, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. Okay, so remember, what we read in 2nd Ezra, 2nd chapter. Okay, remember, because they were sealed. Okay, who's that? The elect, because the elect are sealed. There's nothing that man, the Edomites, the heathens, okay, all these Gestapo troops, these teams, they can't do anything about it. They're already sealed. Okay, they're sealed already. All right, so this is something that you gotta understand. All right. All right, you know, but the only one who could blot you out from the book of life is Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because he can blot you out. Okay, but the elect's already in there. Okay, you know, but to the hopeful elect, that don't just give you permission, liberty to just add sin on top of sin. You got to understand that. But that's like, for our enemies, they can't change anything, because our enemies, they're actually trying to change prophecy. Okay, they're trying to go around the Lord's the Lord's will. You see? Okay. All right, verse 4. And right here it says till the 3rd verse. Let me read it again. Revelation chapter 7, verse 3. Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, because the sea's gonna get it. Judgment, the trees, okay, the earth, the ground's gonna, because right here when the ICBMs go off, are the mountains gonna get hurt? Yeah, they're gonna get wiped out. Okay, the mountains are gonna get wiped out here. The trees, see the water, all right? Till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. Okay, so that's something that that is going on right now around the earth, because all the elect have to be sealed. Okay, then the Lord is going to do away with this place. See? Verse 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000. So here we go. Okay, to show you this is where the 144,000 are at in the Bible. Okay, and this is where it's at. Okay, listen up. Revelation chapter 7, verse 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes, okay, plural, tribes with an S at the end, of the children of Israel. So what's happening right here, okay? What's happening right here is our enemies are afraid of the house of David, because they know that power is about to be activated. So they're trying right now to do sacrifices, all kinds of stuff, put spells. They're trying to stop the 144,000 from getting activated. Okay, remember, the 144,000 are Yahushai's brothers. Okay, they have Yahushai has brothers on the planet Earth. You see? All right. Okay. Okay, so let me read it one more time. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Okay, so the 144,000, okay, of all the tribes, because there's more than one. Okay, James chapter 1 verse 1 tells us that there's 12. Okay. All right, so right here, verse 5, of the tribe of Judah were still 12,000. So there's 12,000 men from the 12 tribes, okay, which equals there's 12,000 men in each tribe, 12,000 per tribe, okay, so 12 times the 12 tribes is 144,000, and 144,000 are men, okay. Of the tribe of Judah were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad, were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were still 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were still 12,000. Oh, right here, the tribe of Joseph. Okay, this is the tribe of Ephraim, who are the so-called Puerto Ricans. Okay, this is the only one that's when we have our 12 tribes sign out there, this is the only one that's that's different, okay? That doesn't say Ephraim. All right, but out there it's you have Ephraim right there, okay? Of the 12 of the tribe of Joseph were still 12,000, okay? Of the tribe of Benjamin were still 12,000. So there you have it, okay? That's 12,000 men from 12 tribes, which is 144, okay? So follow me now to here we go. Let's go to 1 Corinthians. Okay, so 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 50 on down. Okay, so this goes into how the elect are going to be changed. Okay, all right. 1 Corinthians, how the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai has your new bodies. Yep. You gotta understand that in this flesh we're gonna shed these bodies. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 50 on down. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High Yahweh. Okay. Neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. All right. So right here. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High Yahweh. Neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Okay? Behold, here's the point. I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, wait for it, but we shall all be changed. Okay? We shall all be changed. Why is that? Okay? Why is that? Because the hopeful elect are going to be changed into immortality bodies. See that? We shall not all sleep, because these elites are not gonna kill every Israelite. Okay, the elect are gonna survive out here. They're gonna be protected. Okay, verse 52. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. Okay, so in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, so fast, faster than you can blink your eye, faster than you can flip a light switch, that fast, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible. Okay, because see that? So the dead are going to be raised. So if you have to be put down, okay, when you're while you are a believer in this thing, okay, if you stay, if you're part of the hopeful elect and you have to, and you pass away, by whatever, by an illness, or these elites put you in a guillotine to the few martyrs out there. Okay, All right. Remember, the Lord is going to raise up his elect from the dead, just like Yahushua rose from the dead 3 days later. Okay. For the trumpet shall sound. Okay. All right. So what's the last trumpet? When the ICBMs are going off. Okay. That's the last trumpet. The last plague is when the ICBMs are being shot off. Okay. To the end of the world. And the dead shall be raised incorruptible. So Esau, you know, to all you clowns out there for the New World Order, it doesn't even matter if you put some of the hopeful elect to death. They're gonna come right back to life. You know, right before those of you who are left, that is, who are still alive. Okay, you know, who make it that far. All right, the elect are gonna be raised. So it doesn't even matter. It's a win-win. So let's say whatever, these elites, they put down some elect members, you know. Remember, the Lord is gonna allow that. Okay, they're not just gonna, oh, hey, you know, they got lucky, they got one. No. Okay, it's only going to be who the Lord allows. But you gotta remember, it's not just, oh, all right. No, they're gonna come right back to life like the Lord did. Okay, remember, and the Lord came back to life what? 3 days later. He didn't. Okay, the Lord didn't, all right, like this world celebrates, what is that, what is that, what is that, you know, they celebrate, you know, like the Lord, you know, but they call him Jesus Christ. Okay, they have something on Friday, and then they have their event on Sunday. Okay, that's not 3 days. You know, you have Saturday night, that's 1 night. Sunday night, that's 2 nights. That would be Monday night. So that's only you know, 2 nights. Okay, remember, the Lord came back 3 days later, so you can understand. Okay. All right. So for the trumpet shall sound. So when the ICBMs are going off. Okay, when the ICBMs are going off, okay, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, because very important. All right, right here. So when the dead are going to be raised, those that believe in the Lord, who have to give up their lives, okay, once they are risen, okay, they're going to be raised incorruptible. So this is what we're reading, okay? So those of you that are still alive, okay, you know, you're gonna shed these bodies, okay, instantly. How many of you guys ever out there seen that movie Shazam? Okay, how many of you guys ever seen that Shazam? Okay, yeah. Remember how they say, oh, Shazam, and then boom, they change just like that? It's gonna be just like that. Okay, it's not gonna be like a long old thing and theme music like Esau does in these Hollywood movies. No, it's gonna be fast, baby. Okay, boom, like you turn on that light switch in your garage, you turn on that light switch at your house, in your, you know, in your living room, you know, in your, you know, it's gonna be that fast. Boom, you're gonna change your body. Boom, that fast. Okay, all right. So, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. So real fast, those who have to give up, you know, you know, give up their lives, you know, for the testimony of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know, the Lord's gonna raise you up first. You're gonna be in a chariot first next to the Lord, Michael the archangel, Yahushai, okay, the angels. You're gonna have a window seat first. Okay, then it's not gonna be like months later, years later, and then, you know, right away. But you're just gonna be raised first. The Lord's gonna raise you incorruptible, because when He raises you, He's not gonna raise you into a ship and then has to do all this work. You know, like when somebody goes to a beauty salon, it takes hours. Okay, the Lord and the angels are not gonna work on you and change your body and it's gonna take, you know, no, it's gonna be fast. Okay, well, this is something that you gotta understand. So when they're raised, you know, the hopeful elect, they're gonna go. Their body's gonna change like that. Boom. incorruptible, because they're gonna have what? Those new bodies. Incorruptible. See? All right. So that's very important right there. Okay. All right. All right. So this is it's very it's very important right there, that detail. Okay, because they're gonna be raised incorruptible, meaning because not only are they gonna be raised, okay, from the dead, but what else? They're also gonna be changed with their new bodies, because they're gonna be incorruptible. Okay, right now these bodies are corrupt. You can do stuff to get all okay, all right, you can do stuff to corrupt these bodies. Eat some rotten stuff. You can eat something bad and just die. Okay, these bodies are corrupt. Okay, all right, this is why nobody's perfect. See, verse 53, for this corruptible must put on incorruption. See, for this mortal, because we have mortal bodies, must put on immortality. Okay, immortality. So this is something that it's very, very important. Okay, it's very, very important. All right, because the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000, are gonna receive brand new bodies. Okay, that are not gonna die. You're gonna be able to travel to outer space, go to outer space and not have a space apparatus, a spacesuit like these heathens and Edomites. Okay, the reason why they have a spacesuit is because there's no air up there. There's no oxygen, meaning what? They can't breathe. So they need that, okay, to breathe. All right, remember the moon landing? Okay, when 1969, when America had the fake moon landing, they had the American flag, like there was wind in the background. Okay, these devils, the cat's out the bag. Remember, there's no wind up there. Okay, there's no wind up there. Remember, there's no air, there's no oxygen. See, but they had the flag, waving. Remember, the Lord had the true prophets. Esau, the jig's up. You clowns are going to slavery. You guys can and hope that's not going to happen, but you're going to slavery. Your time is up. Your time is up. Your time is up. It don't matter how mad you red monkeys get. Okay, go ahead and get mad. Okay, you ain't gonna change a damn thing. All right. Okay. So, verse 54. Okay, verse 54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, all right, because remember, all the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000, are going to receive new bodies. And this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to the Most High Yahweh, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach. Okay? Alright, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always. So right there, steadfast, like you gotta hold it down, baby. Okay, you gotta firmly believe in this thing. Okay, the flesh, you might get a little bit, weary. It's not, it happens. We're in the flesh, like, oh shit, but you got to cast that off and, hey, be firm in the Lord. My beloved brethren, okay? Beloved means the elect, okay? The beloved. Be steadfast, unmovable, so don't worry about our enemies. Okay, let them do what they got to do. Don't even worry about it. Okay, we got our job to do, they got theirs. Just like that, okay? But we have to tell you about it so that way you guys can learn. All right, it's not just, hey, you guys are talking about agents, what the hell? No, it's just, we just gotta tell you what it is, what's going on out here. Okay? All right, we gotta give you the sweet and the bitter, everything. See, it's just the way it is. See that? And this is why these churches, why they receive money and all that, because they don't go into that. They don't tell you that this world is corrupt, that they sell it to agents and all that. They don't do all that. Okay, the real prophets are going to tell you exactly what's going on. See? All right, but that's neither here nor there. All right, but that's just to educate you of what's going on out here. See? You know? All right. You know, it's just to show you, you know, what's going on and why it's happening. Okay? All right. Verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren. Great. Okay. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Okay? So, you know, always abounding in the work of the Lord. Because you got to be consistent in the Lord. Okay? You got to be praying, you know, doing videos, at least trying to reach out to a brother. Okay? You know, doing something, you know, to work out your spiritual fitness with the Lord. Okay? You know, you gotta work out your own salvation with fear and trembling somehow. You know, if you're repenting, you know, are you truly sorry for that? Are you trying to become a better man, a better woman? You know, are you truly deeply sorry for your sins? You know, are you actually putting effort to, like, you know, actually stop, like try to do, like make adjustments and stuff like that? You know, are you praying to the Lord? Are you even being serious? Or you're just like, oh well, I prayed, well fuck it, you know? Do you really care about it? You know? See? Huh? All right. Always abounding in the work of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay. So that's something that, you know, is very important, okay? Because you got to you know, you got to actually believe in this thing, you know. All right, so Revelation chapter 14, verse 1 on down. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion. Okay. That's Yahweh Shai. All right. Zion is us. Okay. It's Israel. Okay. To Zion, and with him, and 144,000. Okay. So with him is 144,000. All right. The governing body. Yahweh Shai has brothers. All right. And with him 144,000, the house of David, okay, who are enemies, the elites. They are frightened of them because they know that, oh, once they get activated, there's nothing they can do to stop them. Okay, so they are working night and day, okay, trying to do sacrifices, trying to pay agents, doing spells. They're trying to stop this thing. Like, hey, we, like among themselves, they're like, we gotta stop it. Is what they're saying among themselves. Okay, but it's something that, you know, they can't stop it. You know, it don't matter how hard they try. You know, they're just spinning their wheels. Okay, they're just spinning their wheels. All right, having his father's name written in their foreheads. All right, so this is a very serious thing here. Okay, verse 2. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of great thunder. And I heard the voice of harpers, harping with their voice, with their harps. Verse 3. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, because this is a new song, it's a new thing. All right, remember, Abba Bivens barely came on the scene in 1969. Yeah, it's a new song. Okay, you gotta understand that this is a new kingdom. Okay, a new rulership. Okay, the planet Earth is gonna be established in righteousness under, you know, a true righteous kingdom. You know, an everlasting rulership. See, This is why people in this world are like, well, I don't like that, because they're used to the old way. I'm used to Jesus Christ, you know, and the stuff that they've been hearing for years and years. See, so when they hear this one, it's like, hey, well, what is this? You know, they don't like it. But that's because they're not part of the hopeful elect. See? And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders. And here we go. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Beautiful. All right. And check it out. Okay. So look at. So this is why people can't break it down. Okay. They can't get it. Check this out. And no man can learn that song, but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. So no one can get down with this thing. Okay. Only the true prophets. Okay. Okay. You know. So, yep, verse 4. These are they which are not defiled with women, for they are virgins. Okay, that don't mean that they don't never have sex. Okay, we're gonna just go straight raw with it. Okay, that means that they're not, they haven't sold out. Okay, their doctrine is pure. All right, us and the prophets. Okay, they may not be perfect in the flesh. Okay, but what they're teaching is 100%. The doctrine is on point. You know, it's you know, it's they haven't sold out. They're not trying to, you know, say 80% of the truth and then just kind of, you know, the rest of it just kind of, you know, kind of wing it and say, well, this is what we feel. The rest of the 20%. You know, so you can understand, 20 or 15%. All right. These are they which follow the Lamb, whithersoever he goeth. So this is why the true prophets won't sell out to the elite. Okay, like Nick Cannon. Okay, if you come to the true prophet and say, well, we're gonna fire you, we're gonna threaten you, do this and that, and all that jazz, the true prophets will probably just laugh at you, curse you out, you know, and say, go for it, you know, because Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is gonna protect his prophets. All right. And if they do have to be martyrs, okay, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna go out strong like Apostle Paul, Yahweh Shai, okay, Stephen. They're gonna go out bold and courageous. All right, these are they which follow the Lamb, Yahweh Shai, whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men. See, being the first fruits, right there. There it is. Okay, there it is. There it is. Being the first fruits. Okay. Unto Yahweh and to the Lamb, Yahweh Shai, okay? So right here is the first fruits. So they are the first spirits ever created, okay, on the planet Earth. The first spirits, okay, ever created. So you can understand. All right, so the first spirits, the first fruits. Remember, Yahweh created Yahweh Shai. After that, Yahweh Shai created his brothers, his friends, the 144,000. Okay, the house of David. All right, it's very, very important. Okay, it's very, very important. You see? All right, so and then they created everything else. You know. So that's it on today's lesson on the 144,000. Okay, you know. Remember, this is part 1. Okay, I'll do a part 2, Lord willing, later on. Okay, because there's a lot of other chapters in Proverbs. Okay, Baruch. Okay, that says, you know, that, you know, the sons of men, like Apostle Har said last Saturday. Okay, remember in Obadiah 1, you know, the Lord's gonna send saviors. Okay, saviors with an S. Okay, it's because Yahweh Shai is the first. Okay, and John 3:16, Yahweh Shai is the first, but he's not the only. Okay, the only begotten, that means the first. Remember, there's 144,000. So you may say, well, wait a minute, the Lord has brothers? Yeah. Yup. You know, so Lord willing, I'll go into that, you know, to show the hopeful elect where, you know, where it shows that. Okay, to show you that you know, that the Lord Yahweh Shai indeed has friends. Okay, he has brothers. All right, the 144,000. Okay, they're the first spirits ever created. You know, so they go way back. They go way back. They go way back. Okay. All right. So with that, that concludes today's lesson. And just remember to just to learn. Okay, this is you know, this is a whole learning process. You know, patience is key. Okay, because you're gonna have to learn you're gonna learn that the Lord does things on His time. Okay, and you're gonna have to learn to just, you know, to trust in the Lord. Okay, it's easier said than done, but you know, it's like anything else. It takes time. Okay. When you know, like when you do your job, okay, when you start working out, when you start doing anything like playing basketball, when you start throwing the football, okay, it takes time to get good, you know, just like this, you know, it's gonna take time, okay, and to have your faith at an all-time, you know, strong, it's gonna take time, okay. The Lord deals with His elect and in certain ways, but you got to remember that you know, because the Lord, He can just put a strong spirit on you where you're just boom, you're on fire right away. You know, you're just you're already, you know, you're going down the hole. Okay, but remember, this thing takes time, so you gotta learn about the Creator. You know, it's and about, you know, our history, who the 144,000 is, who our Lord is. All right, so with that, that's it on today's lesson on who the 144,000 are. Okay, and with that, you know, on your feet, soldier. Until next time, Shalom.